All right. Regis, Prograis, Josh Taylor, mini super fight that I was looking for. Looks like it is in serious jeopardy of not occurring. Regis Prograis sues the World Boxing Super Series. The World Boxing Super Series says that that fight is going on, that they didn't breach any agreements. Let's talk about that in this video. All right. Welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified when we release more videos. Also, I want to dedicate this video to one of my favorite channels, Ashley's Corner. Much love in all the videos you do, all the work you do trying to promote Baltimore. Definitely check out Ashley's Corner. Great boxing channel. Thank you to everybody that supports the channel on the Venmo and the Patreon. Thank you guys so much. Not just the Venmo, but the Cash App. Hey, we loving Cash App around here. Thank you very much. It makes the money flow much better. We spread it around the LDBC. We also spread it around to nonprofits with the work that we do with those. So thank you guys very much. Super chats as well. Check me out on the live streams Monday through Friday, 11 Central Standard Time and 8 a.m. Eastern Central Standard Time for OG Boxing Talk on Sunday. Now, Regis Prograis said that they ain't paying him on time. And since they ain't paid him on time, he said, put the money up front into an escrow account, stick the money in a bank account so I can see it before I agree to fight this guy. Because you already were late paying me before, right? You owe me, I had $500,000 out there. I gotta pay trainers. I gotta pay my rent. I gotta eat, right? You were late paying me for my fight, paying me my winner's purse for my fight. Look, you're gonna have to put this money in an escrow account and it gotta be here by these, and so I can see that the money's gonna be there because, you guys look like you might not pay the money. I might wind up being in a situation where I beat Josh Taylor and you got $1.3 million that you're gonna owe me if a winner's bonus, and the money I might not get paid the money because that's the last one. I can go off and fight somebody else, man. Put the money in the agreement. Put the money in escrow, right? They agreed, according to Regis Prograis, his team, they agreed to do that. But when the time came to do it, they were stalling and basically making excuses and saying things they knew weren't true to prevent and delay them putting that money into the account because they ain't got the money. So he wants to leave the World Boxing Super Series altogether. Sounds reasonable. The World Boxing Super Series is saying, look, no, you have an exclusive deal with us. You have to see this. You have to see this through. We haven't breached the agreement. We did pay you for your winner's bonus before. We did pay you your fees. You got the money that we owed you. And that's it. You don't get to get out of that. So pretty much that's where they are. That's what each party has said so far, right? Now here's the question. And I brought this up in a video I did earlier today. It's real iffy what's going to happen with that scenario, man. Because if they promise to put the money into an escrow agreement, right? In an escrow account. Well, first of all, let me be clear. They failed to enter into an escrow agreement with them, right? And to draft the fighter's contract, to draft the escrow agreement, the agreement of what the money was going to be, what money was going to go into the escrow account, and I believe the fighter's contract as well. So they're saying that they did not enter into that in a timely manner. Now, here's the issue with that. You actually have to see the agreement to decide who's right on that. Did they agree to a specific date? Not only would they have had to agree to a specific date. So they say for example, Regis Prograis and the World Boxing Super Series agreed that they were going to put money in escrow by, by August 20th, right? And that the fight was going to take place is going to be in place no later than October 29th, right? And they laid those terms out. If they could be in trouble, if they not trouble, but their case is weaker if they don't specifically say, if you do not have this there, we can leave. The fight will not take place. Okay? You must have this paid, this agreement signed by this date, or the money into the account by this date, and you must announce the fight by this date. Otherwise, the ramifications will be this. You will be in breach of contract, and the contract is thereby terminated. If you do not, or we have the right to terminate the contract if it doesn't happen on that date, right? So you see the difference? You could give somebody a date and a time and say, you got to make it at that date, you got to make it at that time, right? But if you don't specifically say that what happens if they don't make the time, then that might not be a material breach of the agreement, right? Because if in order for Regis Prograis to get all the way out of the agreement, they have to say that was a breach of contract. As a result, we don't owe these guys anything else. We can go on. We're out of the contract because they didn't live up to their bargain. They're part of the bargain. What the other guy with World Boxing Series is going to say is, look, yeah, all right, we didn't get it in we didn't get those things in on those specific dates, but that's just those things are minor. They're getting the value of the contract for the most part. We paid them, the majority of the value that they looked for out of the fight. So far, he did get paid his purses. He did get his winner's fees. Yeah, they were a little late, but hey, that doesn't mean he should be able to get all the way out of the agreement, right? Maybe we should have to pay him some fee for a late payment, or we have to increase his purse because there's some portion of it that we didn't complete, but that doesn't mean he should get all the way out of the agreement. And that's pretty much the argument that's going to take place between the two. And without actually seeing the agreement, you don't know. But just to illustrate the idea again, just think for a second, like if you hire somebody to build a pool in your house, in your front yard, and you order a pool that has 2 staircases. You go on vacation, the people build the staircase, they build the pool, and then you notice that there's only 1 staircase coming out of the pool. And then you say, oh, I'm not going to pay you for this because you breached my agreement. The specifications in the agreement said two staircases, a staircase here and a staircase there to get out of the pool. You only put 1. So this isn't what I asked for. I'm not paying you. They're going to have to pay up, okay? Because they got a pool, right? Now the pool, there was what would be a minor thing that happened there that wasn't what they wanted. And maybe they can say, oh, well, what I need them to do is I need them to put the 2nd staircase in, right? That's a damage they might be able to get for that. Say, well, I'm not saying that I'm not going to pay for the pool because I got a pool. I got a full-size pool, right? With water, everything is functioning. The only problem is it doesn't have 2 staircases. That can be remedied. Whoever the arbitrator is, the mediator is, can order the pool company to put that staircase in your pool. And that's it. You walk away. It's done. You're now whole, right? Is that the case with Regis Prograis and World Boxing Super Series with the timing of an escrow agreement? Right? Look, if no harm, no foul, if I put the money in the escrow agreement, I put the money in the escrow fund, and if I pay you, a penalty for that, right? That might be the case, but that all depends on whether or not only did they specify the dates that the money was going to go into the escrow account, right? And I do also believe the other issue was the date that the fight was going to be set by, right? The only way, not the only way, what would help Regis Prograis' case is if they laid out in whatever agreement they had, whether it was verbal, whether it was in an email or something, whatever it was, that they told them, look, we are going to pull out of this fight if this money, if this escrow agreement, if this money is not in an escrow account by X date. And then X date came and went and the money wasn't there. And it was obvious that, that they believed that the other people didn't even want to enter into an agreement because they knew they weren't going to be able to get that money in at that time. That could be a material breach because you let people know what the consequences were going to be. You know what I mean? So, an agreement is like these type of things are not really, it's an art. It's not a science. It's an art. And you have all kind of different theories about why people come into an agreement. You have two people, the idea that of a free market and of people being able to holding people responsible for keeping their promises. And, different arbitrators, different judges, they have different ideas and different interpretations on what exactly that means. And I do believe they try to be consistent. But when you come into things like that, where you have some subjectivity to it, like, all right, you entered into an agreement. The big thing that Regis Prograis wanted was to fight and earn money for the fights that he fought. And he fought the fights. Well, he wanted the money for the fights that he fought. The World Boxing Super Series wanted him to fight the fights that they wanted him to fight. So Regis was fighting in the fights that they asked him to fight in. Even though they paid him late, they paid him. They did pay him. They seemed like they both got what they wanted to. Now the question is, once they were late and Lou DiBella and those guys said, look, man, we need this in an escrow. We got to come to an agreement that this is going to be in a net. We're going to have an escrow agreement and you're going to put this money in there. Once they didn't put the money in there and they violated that agreement, then the question is, was that a material breach or was it a non-material breach of contract? And that's going to come down to the specifics of how clearly Regis Prograis' teams were in emphasizing that their interest was in having it in there by that date. And the ramifications, the agreed upon ramifications of them not having it in by that date. So, but hopefully we get to see the fight. Personally, I think that Regis Prograis can make more money fighting somebody else. And that can also be brought into consideration too, because these guys are playing around. Every minute that they're not paying this guy this money, he can go get more money fighting somebody else. And I think that is a fair consideration on Regis Prograis' part of time as well, man. Look, you got to keep up to your end of the bargain. And these guys have a reasonable expectation or a reasonable fear that you might not pay up. Or if you do, and you might not pay up for a considerable amount of time, which to them is a cost of money. It costs them money. The longer you don't pay, the longer they're without their money, the less their money is worth. Anyway, it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.